This is the Getting Into Alignment podcast. Here we play in the quantum world of possibilities. If you desire it, you get to have it. My name is Alexa Ray Smith. I'm a business coach and spiritual teacher for women in business. I'm here to help you unlock your personal power and tap into your magnetism so that you can manifest the most incredible life for yourself and build the business of your dreams. These episodes will help you plug into the energy of infinite potentiality and teach you the tools you need to play in this world where limitations don't exist. On this podcast, I'll be talking to you about energetics, mindset, embodiment, spirituality, money, and business. Everything that you want is on the other side of you getting into alignment. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Getting Into Alignment podcast. I'm your host, Alexa Ray Smith. I'm so excited that you're here. We are just on a roll with podcast episodes lately. I want you to use this as a permission slip if you need one. When you are a creative, there are some times when you really do need to take a break to be able to get your energy right, to really be able to get to a space where you want to create again. If you start resenting your creations, if you start feeling like you don't want to do it anymore because you have to do it, and you put all of this pressure on yourself to have to do things, that is when you really don't have the energy to show up, and that's when you're forcing yourself to do it. And there's one thing to be said about being consistent and being dedicated, but there's also a certain time that if you're feeling really called to take a break, allow yourself to take a break. I know that I've gotten some messages saying, I'm so glad that you're back. So I'm so excited that you guys are here with me, and I'm so excited that you're listening. So today we're just going to jump right in. I just wanted that quick little permission slip in case you're somebody that's feeling more obligation rather than creativity when it comes to your creations, when it comes to your business. And it's like, we can't have this hustle mentality when we are creatives. Once you've established yourself anyway, and once you've really put enough things out there, there's always a time and a place to really go inward, because once you do that, you're going to be rejuvenated and you're going to be really energized and you're going to be really excited again to create. And that means that creations will come through so much easier because you don't have any resistance to what you're doing. And let this be an example. I took a break for a few months from the podcast, and now I'm loving podcasting again. So here we are. I'm going to jump right in now to another quote that channeled through to me. So we're just going to follow this same old process where I'm going to read you the quote and then I'm going to riff on it. So the quote that came through was, when you transmute jealousy into inspiration, everything will change for you. Now, what do I mean by that? You might be like, I'm not exactly sure what that even means. So what I mean by that is, what we have commonly been taught is to view other people that have things that we desire, and we get jealous or we get envious or we start getting defensive or we start judging them. And it's like, that is the wrong energy to be in. If there is something that you truly, genuinely desire, and you see somebody with that thing and you start judging them, you start speaking negatively about them, you start speaking negatively about the thing, that is when you're actually communicating to your subconscious mind and to the universe that you don't actually want that. And this is where I think the matrix programming, well, I would say that this is one of the 101 million ways that the matrix programming really fucks us up, because let's be honest, like, everything the matrix teaches you is a lie, and it just makes life so unfulfilling. And this is one thing that you have to really be able to transition through. So I always teach my clients and my students that everything that is in the universe is a catalog. Like, everything that you are seeing that somebody else has, every house that's out there, every car that's out there, every job that's out there, every amount of money that's out there, every relationship that's out there, it's like you are just flipping through the universal catalog and you get to choose anything. There is literally nothing telling you that you're predestined for X, Y, or Z. You get to choose. But where so many of us go wrong is we won't even allow ourselves to dream that big because we've been told that that's unrealistic. We've been told that that isn't available for us. We've been told that only certain people can have that. And it's like, if you keep having that fixed mindset, that's when you won't ever get it. But when you can instead not judge, not go into jealousy, not go into envy, not go into any low frequency emotions, when you can instead transmute the jealousy and turn it into inspiration, that means that when you see somebody who has the car that you want, you get excited and you know that if they have that car, that's possible for you too. If they have that relationship that you want to have, that's possible for you too. If they have the body that you want to have, that's possible for you too. If they have the business that you want to have, that's possible for you too. And so I call it placing your order with the universe. And I walk you step by step on how to do this in my PDF called the Manifestation Manifesto. If you haven't yet downloaded it, you can grab it from my website. It's so beautifully succinct and it really makes manifestation fun again while also walking you through the process of reframing your limiting belief. So it's like if everything that you're seeing, if everything is just available for you, if you are flipping through the universal catalog and you get to go, ooh, yeah, I'll take that. Ooh, yeah, I'll take that. Ooh, yeah, I'll take that. You get excited and you start allowing yourself to imagine and to play into the reality where you are driving that car, where you do have that house, where you do have that much money, where you do have that relationship, whatever it is that you want to have, and realize that not everyone wants the same exact thing. We are all very unique as humans, and fundamentally, sure, we all want to be loved and accepted and safe and things like that, but when it comes down to the specifics of what type of house you want to live in or what type of relationship you want to have, or whether you want to have a really successful business or if you just want to make enough to get by, like whatever it is for you, that's perfect. But you have to allow yourself to be able to actually believe that it is possible for you to experience that reality. And you need to look at the evidence that's out there that says, if someone else can have that, I can have that too. Something I started saying a very long time ago now. What is time? I'm not good with referencing time because I've just literally never believed in it. But I want to say for at least 5 years now, if I have seen somebody who has the car that I want, who has the house that I want, who has the business that I want, who has the success that I want, who has the impact that I want, whatever it is, I go, if she can have it, I can have it too. If he can do that, I can do that too. And so instead of me closing myself off energetically and having this fixed mindset that tells me, well, I can't have that, or that's easy for them, or going into this jealousy or judgment where it's like, oh, well, they must have that because they were born into a rich family, or somebody must have given that to them, or whatever the noise drama is that goes through your head. Do you see how going, ooh, I can have that too is such a more exciting and open frequency rather than, well, that must be easy for them because they were born into a rich family. That is like, ugh, that's repelling energy. And you have to understand that things that repel people also repel the universe, also repel manifestations. And so a lot of people that haven't really mastered the art of manifestation, they're the ones that are still judging, condemning, gossiping about, getting jealous about. They're going into these low frequency emotions and behaviors when they see people that have what they desire. Whereas people that have a growth mindset, people that have a successful mindset, they see these people, as Lacey Phillips calls them, as expanders. And so it's like the people that have what you desire to have, they are living evidence that it is possible for you too. And the way that your subconscious mind works is it's always looking for evidence. Now, one of the best things that you can do when you don't have personal lived experience evidence through your own life, you can find other people that you can actually start showing your subconscious mind that it's possible for. Because one, your subconscious mind works off of evidence, and two, your subconscious mind works off of sensory input. So that means when you see somebody that has it, you are showing your eyes proof that it does exist. You're showing your mind proof that it is possible, because if they can do it, you can do it too. If they can have it, you can have it too. And I find so many people are are so unconscious to the fact that they even have a choice here. Like, do you even know that you have a choice, that when you see somebody who has something that you desire, that you could go into a low frequency emotion or you could go into a high frequency emotion? Because this is going to be a total game changer for you. If you can start looking at the people that have the things that you desire to have and say, thank you. Thank you for showing me that's possible. Thank you for showing me what's available. This was the reason why when female entrepreneurs, specifically coaches and business coaches, started making 5, 6, 7, 8 figures a month consistently, at the beginning of the coaching industry, when we turned into feminine energetics, this is why everyone and their mother was celebrating all of these income goals, because it was like they were showing you what was possible. They aren't any different than you. If they can have a $10,000 month, if they can have a $20,000 month, if they can have a $50,000 month, if they can have a $100,000 month, and now we've moved up to $1 million months. Like, that's where we're at right now. There are women out there that have $1 million months. If they are showing you what's possible, then it's like, oh my God, because the way we've been taught about money, specifically, we've been so deeply programmed. And the majority of people would say, you're lucky if you can even have $100,000 a year. I could list off 50 different people that have $100,000 months and more. But if those women didn't start sharing that dollar amount, then a lot of women wouldn't have even gone after that, especially because of the way women are programmed and the way that we weren't always allowed to have bank accounts and we weren't always allowed to have money and we weren't always allowed to have credit cards. So it's like women really needed to start showing other women what was possible. And unfortunately, because the majority of people aren't doing this work, a lot of women don't actually share the amount of money that they're making anymore, because the internet it's the wild, wild west. Nobody has social media etiquette at all. It's something that I really think we need to be taught in school. And I don't think that we should allow people to be bullies and people to be negative. Like, I think that the internet should be a safe space, especially your social media, if you are running a business through there. But a lot of people have hated on and flooded these women's comments. And when these women start sharing how much money they're actually making, there's people that aren't even creating content, that don't even have businesses, and they're telling them that they're liars and just like the craziest things. So unfortunately, a lot of women you'll find don't share how much money they're making in a month anymore, because of how negative our planet is and how negative a lot of people are online. But that just goes to show you how so many people are still living in the matrix. And even when somebody is showing them what's possible, their immediate response is to be negative, to be jealous of them, to be hateful, to be bitter, to gossip, to try and tear them down. And it's like, that's actually just making it so those people are not able to ever have that experience, because they are not seeing it as a possibility. They aren't seeing it as, they're sharing it so that people that have never been shown this, that it was possible, people that have never been told that it was possible, that it is possible, that you can do it too. If they can do it, you can do it too. And this is something that I always teach my clients, because it's like, if you are just constantly seeing everything in the universe as a possibility for you, then that means that you're actually showing your unconscious mind that you do desire it without resistance. Of course, maybe there's some limiting beliefs that you need to clean up. Maybe you need to regulate your nervous system with some things. But it's like, isn't it so much more exciting when you can see that the things that these people have, whether it's that dream car, whether it's that dream house, whether it's that dream business, isn't it so much more exciting to say, oh my God, like, if they can have it, I can have it too? Because what happens there is then you start seeing people that you might not even know. It just might be somebody on the internet, whether you follow them or don't follow them or whatever it is, but you actually get into this frequency where you go a step beyond being expanded by it, but you start celebrating that person for their wins, for their accomplishments, for their manifestations, because you realize, if we're looking at the law of one and we are all connected, if somebody has something, that is clear evidence that anybody else on the planet could too. Now, I'm not saying that that means it's going to come easily. I'm not saying that that isn't going to require a lot of inner work. I'm not saying that that's not going to require a lot of dedication and consistency. in order for you to become the person who has normalized that much money, normalized that big of a house, normalized that expensive a car, it's going to require a lot of work. But are you willing to look at people that have these things and say, wow, if they were able to come from where they came from and they were able to manifest these things, and then it gets better and better and better, like that's what's available for me if I just do the work, if I just stop acting like the majority of people in the world. Because how easy is it for you to just judge? How easy is it for you to just complain? How easy is it for you to gossip? How easy is it for you to just go into a jealousy frequency? It takes a lot more work. It takes a lot more emotional intelligence. It takes a lot of accountability for you to see somebody that has something, even if and especially when you're really far away from it. Say somebody is celebrating a $100,000 month and you start celebrating them and thanking them for showing you what was possible, and you might not have even landed consistent 5K months. If you're that person that can celebrate the person who has $100,000 months consistently and easily, how much faster are you going to quantum leap into having 100K months rather than the person who is bitter and frustrated because they are only at a $3,000 month and they feel like it's not possible, and how dare they celebrate their 100K month because they're so far away from it? You can feel the frequency. And it's like a lot of people tell you to fake it till you make it with the universe. And I don't know how we got there, because even in acting as if, which has always been a part of law of attraction, acting as if is embodied. It doesn't mean that you're faking it till you make it, because you genuinely have to start living differently. You have to start thinking differently. You have to start speaking differently. You have to start showing up differently. And it's about embodiment. But where does embodiment start? It starts energetically. It starts mentally. So it's like, I want you to honestly ask yourself, when you see someone that has what you want, what's your automatic response? Do you go into, must be nice for them? Their husband must have bought that for them. Like, oh, I could never have that. Like, how dare she? Is that the dialogue that happens in your head, even if maybe you don't say it out loud? Is that the dialogue that happens in your head? Especially when, think about it, we live in an influencer culture right now. And one thing that really shocks me is, let's talk about like the makeup industry for a second. If you were somebody back in the day in like 2016 when the makeup YouTubers really blew up and it became this really amazing shift where makeup companies stopped sending all of their money to marketing, and they started realizing, wow, if we start working with these influencers, they can actually start using our products, and maybe we'll give them a commissions. They can become an affiliate, they can have affiliate links, and they can start selling our products. And how amazing is this? Because typically this would just be going into corporate America and being spent on like having trillions of dollars of marketing fees. And now I can just talk to an individual person. Like, this is just a girl on the internet who has built a really amazing community. She has a hot audience where it's like, if she says that this is a great product, people are gonna buy. That is when we really saw influencers blow up. And it wasn't just in makeup, but let's just stick with the makeup thing for a minute. So back then, it used to be so cool to see that these makeup companies were working with an individual person and helping that individual person to grow their personal brand and to make more money and to be able to, you know, have a more self-sufficient lifestyle where they actually get to be their own boss and they get to really curate their lives. And back in the day, it wasn't like a hate thing. Everybody was celebrating the fact, like, it was very supportive. And people weren't talking shit about the makeup companies sending these things to these influencers. That wasn't even a conversation, because everyone really felt the connection and they were following people that they liked, and they were able to see recommendations, and they were able to see how they were able to be worn without having to spend their money on all of these products. Now, I think that younger generations specifically, because they weren't there to witness that shift, I think a lot of people don't understand how influencers are actually a really amazing thing. Because before that, it wasn't people that you knew and people that you trusted and people that were actually helping you as a consumer while you were helping them. Like, it was a win-win-win. And now there's a lot of, I think it was last month or the month before, I saw this one woman being completely torn down in her comment section from all these people saying, how dare, because she was unboxing. And unboxing started during the makeup YouTube 2016 era. And this girl was unboxing things, and the comment, like, she almost got canceled because the comment sections were flooded with people being like, how come they're sending makeup to her? Like, she's got more than enough money, she can buy it. Why can't they send it to me? And it's like the comment section was a bunch of people in a victim frequency. And they were getting mad at the influencer for building this community, for building this trust factor with the businesses. God forbid the brand send her stuff. They send her things because it's a mutual win-win relationship where they're sending her things because she's going to talk about it and she's going to show her audience, and then people are going to buy. People just don't understand that they're living in this victim frequency by being jealous, by being hateful. If you spent less time commenting negatively on other people's videos and you started creating those videos and you started building that personal brand and you started reaching out to these companies and you started creating content where you were tagging this company and talking about your favorite products, like, you could be one of those people. But the majority of people would rather complain to the person that actually did the work to do that and say, how dare you, when it was like, this wasn't even a possibility 20 years ago. This wasn't a possibility. Like, this is such a beautiful world that we live in now. It's truly shocking to me how many people like don't understand that having an influencer culture is actually a really amazing thing. And it's so much better than the old school traditional marketing where you just had to like watch commercials or you read a magazine and you didn't really actually get to see how it was wearable or know that it was like a person who had your skin type and that you could see all of the different color shades and things like that. So that's just one example of how, especially because we're in more of a digital era, how a lot of people would rather go into this jealousy frequency rather than being inspired. If that influencer has built that community, if she has made that much money, if she has a personal brand, if she has that much influence, you could see that as, oh my God, like, that's available for me too. That's available for me too. And I find that 99% of people don't go there because they're still living in this matrix programming where I just want things for free. And how dare people that have worked for it, how dare they get things because they've got money. People that have money, they did work to be able to have that money. They did work to build that brand. They did work to create content. Like, they were willing to show up when everybody else was judging them and people were calling them crazy. And there's a bunch of haters on the internet because people without even profile pictures are beating people down. And it's like, I said the other day, I commented on a video because I created a video about social media etiquette, and there was another creator that came up that day that had made a video that was similar. And I said to them, like, in the comment section, I said, if the only people that could comment on social media were people that were creating content, social media would be the most empowering and supportive place. Because the only people that are going to gossip and comment negatively and judge you are the people that aren't doing anything with their lives. People that are trying, people that have been there, people that are more successful than you, they will always cheer you on and encourage you for doing the things. So it's like, you have to be somebody that's willing to do things differently, understanding that the majority of people won't get it, understanding that the majority of people will judge you. When you start your business, people are not going to be supportive. When you start your social media and your influencer career, people are not going to be supportive. When you start your journey to making money, people are not going to be supportive. When you go against the grain, it's actually going to really stir up a lot of negativity in the people that you know. And it's like, you have to be willing to change your mindset. You have to be willing to change your habits. You have to be willing to view things differently, even when the majority of people are still in the matrix and are still being negative and are still judging or condemning, because it's like, you can't keep being one of them if you actually do desire to have that influence, if you actually do desire to have that personal brand, if you actually do desire to have that much money, if you actually do desire that house, that car. Like, judging and condemning people that have that tells your subconscious mind and the universe that you don't want to have it. Why? Why would you judge somebody or condemn somebody that has something that you actually want to have, when you could just do the work to become that person, to be able to have that? And it honestly is available for you. Like, it totally is available. But you have to be the one that masters you. You have to be the one that masters your mindset. You have to be the one that's willing to look at life through a different perspective. Today, for example, I was driving home from the gym, and I saw a girl who was my age, honestly looked younger, who was driving my dream car. It wasn't the color or the model that I wanted, but it was my dream car. I saw her from 3 stoplights away, and I was like, oh my God, there's my car. That's what I do. Every time I see somebody driving that car, I get so excited. I'm like, oh my God, that's my car. I wasn't like, how dare that young girl have that car? How'd she get it? Daddy must have bought that for her. She must have married a rich man. That's not the vibe. That's not the vibe. If you haven't understood yet, women are becoming the rich man. Like, that's what we're doing over here all day long. But you have to be the one that's willing to get in that car and drive it around and not let the opinions of other people faze you. Are you able to actually look at people that have what you desire and see them as an expander, see them as showing you what's possible? Or are you getting into this jealousy frequency? Because when you can transmute jealousy into inspiration, into actually propelling you to start becoming that person who can have that, your entire life will change. So I really just want you to sit with that. Are you somebody that gets inspired when you see somebody that has what you desire to have? Or are you somebody that goes into a jealousy frequency and then tells yourself stories of why it was easy for them, but why you could never have it? Because when you instead get inspired and you start telling yourself that because they have it, it's possible for you too, and then you get to work to becoming that person who it is possible for, I am telling you, you will never go back to jealousy frequency. You will never go back to being envious. You'll never go back to gossiping. You'll never go back to complaining, because you'll realize that that is not the way to be. And even though 99% of people are in that frequency, that's why 99% of people will never have the things that they desire. But it's available for you. But are you available for it? All right, that feels good. That feels complete for this. Like, these episodes are actually longer than I expected them to be. I thought that these would be shorter episodes, but you know what's so funny? I was like, when I riff on this, they're going to be like 15-minute episodes. But I am somebody who thinks, like, if your podcast episode is under 15 minutes, I honestly can't take your podcast seriously. Podcasts are meant to be long form. It's weird. It's very weird for me when people have like very short podcasts. So I think in order for a podcast to be like legitimate in my mind, it needs to be 30 minutes. And yes, that's my personal preference. Podcasts are meant to be long form. You know what I mean? Short form content is video content. So I love that these have been around the 30-minute mark, because I feel like that's an actual legitimate podcast episode, and it's a really great, potent episode where you can hear it for long enough that you're able to get the context and the understanding, and then you're also able to like move with it, because it was long enough for it to shift your energy. It was long enough for you to get a new perspective in that area, and then it's like, okay, let's go. Let's go. So these are the perfect length podcasts. Let me know how you're feeling about this new style. I love hearing from you guys. If you're on Spotify, you can go ahead and just leave comments and reviews like right on the Spotify episodes, which is really cool. If you're somebody that listens on Apple, I get it. I'm an Apple person too. Then just shoot me a DM, or leave me a comment on one of my videos. I absolutely love, love, love hearing from you guys. And until the next episode, I will talk with you later. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you're ready to go deeper and to get into my world, you can go to my website, alexaraysmith.com. You'll find all of my current programs on there. If you're desiring to get mentored by me, then the best thing to do is shoot me a DM on Instagram and we can talk about mentorship options and which one's the best fit for you. If you're absolutely loving this podcast, please go rate it 5 stars and let me know why you're loving it. This will help me share the podcast with more people. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. And until the next episode, keep manifesting the most incredible life.